G'day mate and welcome to video number 4 in the series of TJ is really bald. Now, by the way, Australians don't actually speak like that. Well, they kind of do, but they don't really actually speak like that. That's just me putting on a voice. In this video, I'll be sharing my hints and tips about what not to bring travelling with you. I've spent about 18 months of my life travelling around the world, Australia. Specifically spent about 12, 13 months in Australia and quite a bit of Europe. And I've travelled quite a lot on the cruise ships. And I've built up kind of a knowledge about what not to bring with you. There's loads of things, of 10 things you need to bring with you when you go travelling. But there's not any videos, just stuff to say what you don't need to bring with you. I released a video about 5 years ago, and it was things that I was bringing with me. I'd never been travelling before. I just listened to what the YouTube advice was, and I brought loads of stuff that I didn't use or wear. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my hints and tips with you about what not to bring to Australia, or travel in general. The first thing I recommend you don't bring with you is a backpack. Now, you can say, well, that's a bit stupid, TJ, because of course I'm going backpacking. I need a backpack. By definition, I need to go bring a backpack. But the problem with a backpack is they're quite heavy, and whatever you wear or whatever you bring with you, including your iPad or anything, it's going to weigh quite a lot. So, of course, after walking around with a backpack for 20 minutes, you're going to feel this is a bit heavy. And then after an hour, it's even heavier. Because, of course, you're carrying literally everything that you are going to wear. So I recommend you bring a suitcase. That sounds quite stupid, but bring a suitcase because, of course, unless you are travelling to Nepal or climbing Mount Everest or some massive mountain where there's no flat roads, you don't need to bring a backpack. So just bring a suitcase, a nice little pull-on suitcase, because, of course, with a backpack, first and foremost, getting it on your back, especially if it's very heavy, is a mission in itself. And you'll be walking, carrying your heavy backpack, looking at them people, just pulling their suitcase, occasionally stopping to have themselves a nice little drink and relax. You'll be looking at them going, I should have brought a suitcase. So my first thing I recommend is don't bring a rucksack, bring a suitcase. The next thing that I recommend you don't bring is anything heavy in the sense of books. I got this book off my sister when I first went to Australia, and it's an Australia book, and it's from Lonely Planet. It's got like discounts and stuff in it, but it's a very heavy book. Well, it's not heavy in itself; it's a massive little book, but this is quite heavy, and everything available on here is available on the internet. So unless you are muscle man, don't bring any books. Bring along a Kindle or an iPad or something that's not going to weigh as much as this, because this weighs more, I've Googled it, weighs more than an iPad. And of course an iPad's more helpful than one little guide. So don't bring books, bring yourself a Kindle. The next one is something that I did wrong, and that's I brought a lot of medication. Not in the sense of medication that I need, but more like paracetamol, ibuprofen, the things that you stick up your nose when you've got a sore throat and you know, them Vicks sort of things, or whatever they're called in your country. You don't need to bring them, unless you are going travelling again to like Nepal or countries in the Far East where they won't have these products. They're available worldwide. They're not specific to the country you're from. So don't worry about bringing anything that you know will be available when you get there. You don't need to bring paracetamol in your medical bag because they're going to sell it. The next thing I highly recommend you don't bring with you is too many shoes. Now, when I first went to Australia, I bought 4 pairs of shoes with me. I bought a walking pair of shoes, I bought a going out pair of shoes, I bought a pair of smart shoes, and I bought a pair of flip-flops. Now, all you need out of them is maybe a nice pair of Vans and a pair of flip-flops. If you really need business shoes, if you're going on a working holiday visa or something, you can buy them out there. They're quite cheap. They have a lot of cheap shops out there. You don't need to bring 4 or 5 pairs of shoes with you because they're nothing but heavy, and you'll only wear, I wore my flip-flops every day, and I wore my Vans of an evening. So I only wore 2 pairs of boots. And as soon as I got a job out there, I worked in, not door-to-door sales. I only did it for maybe 2 or 3 days. But I wore my Vans because they didn't really care. And of course, they're comfortable shoes. So don't bring 4 or 5 pairs of shoes. You will not wear them, and you do not need them. Also, an addition, on that note, is don't bring too many clothes with you. Of course, shoes are quite heavy, but clothes can be quite heavy as well. Of course, if you're going to go, as Mickey Flanagan would say, maybe bring 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 shirts. So just only the select few shirts you can wear on the beach and on a night out. Don't wear specific shirts that you can only wear on nights out because they're perfect shirts. Because, of course, if you bring a white Ralph Lauren shirt like I did, if you're not going to spend £6 washing that, because most of them are about $6 or $7, you're not going to spend £6 or £7 washing that one specific shirt. And if you wash it in a sink, it's never going to keep it white. So whatever you do, don't bring clothes that are too heavy, don't bring too many, and don't bring anything white. Because white clothing will become grey. And as soon as it's grey, yeah, it looks a bit terrible. So buy coloured t-shirts and coloured clothes that you can just bung all together. Because it's pointless bringing whites. Because you're not going to do whites, darks, and lights. Because that is going to take you months to do. And it's going to cost you $30 or $40 every time you do your washing. So the next one is not to pack anything too expensive or valuable to you as a person. Of course, if you've got your great-grandmother's wedding ring and you think, I'm going to take that travelling and that's not going to get stolen, you are extremely naive. There's people out there that are going to take your stuff, no matter if it means anything to you or not. So if something really is valuable to you as a person, leave it at home, leave it with your parents, leave it wherever you call home, because it's safest there. Because of course, if you're on the beach, you go for a swim, the chance of that ring falling off your finger is highly likely. And at the end of the day, that's going to ruin your holiday. It might be brilliant you bring it with you, but there is a chance that you could lose it. That also includes things that you're not willing to lose, in a sense of cameras, iPads, things like that. It's unlikely they're going to be stolen or you're going to lose them, but there is a chance. So if you can bring a tablet, a Samsung tablet, rather than an iPad, bring a Samsung tablet. Because if you lose it, there's a Samsung tablet in it. It's not an iPad. It's not a DSLR camera. That's a big word for me. So whatever you bring with you, do not bring anything you are not willing to lose or at least get damaged, because it's so easy. The Australian lifestyle or the foreign lifestyle is such a beach lifestyle, and if grit gets into that camera, it's ruined. So don't bring along anything that you think you are not willing to lose. Another thing that I highly recommend you don't bring with you is any form of bedding, pillows, duvets, sleeping bags. If you watched my previous video that I'd done about 5 years ago, I was bringing a sleeping bag liner with me, which I thought at the time was a great idea, and I thought no matter where I go, I'll always have a sleeping bag and I can put it into the bag. And most hostels you go to don't allow you to bring your own bedding, because of course if you take it from one hostel or hotel to the other, there's a chance you'll bring across bed lice or horrendous things that will be well, horrendous stuff. We'll say I got bed bugs really bad in France. So they won't allow you to bring your own stuff. So I highly recommend you don't bring any form of bedding. They will have pillows, they will have this is a weird one, but most hostels and places like that allow you to hire towels. So unless you've got a microfiber towel or a very thin towel, which I highly recommend you get, don't worry about bringing a towel. Most hotels allow you to rent one for a couple of dollars, couple of euros. So if you haven't got enough space for a towel, don't bring one. And the final thing is not to bring too many wash bag. I can't remember the word. And the final thing is not to bring too much stuff in your wash bag. Of course, bring a wash bag. Bring deodorant, body wash, maybe a face wash and a shampoo. That's all you need. Maybe some moisturiser and of course sun cream. But there's things that you don't need. You don't need face packs. You don't need too many moisturiser products. You don't need 8 things for your feet, 10 things for your knees. You don't need to bring too much stuff, because of course that's quite heavy. And the chances of you actually using it are quite slim. Are you going to sit in a hostel with a face pack on? You know what I mean, doing your nails? That's potentially could happen, but that's unlikely to happen. So don't bring too much stuff. You need the bare essentials. Bring a 5-in-1. If you can buy a 5-in-1 that does everything, does your body, your head, your face, your hair, your car, whatever. Bring a 5-in-1, and that's all you need. You need one thing and a scrunchie. That is all you will need. Don't bring boxes and boxes and bags of different beauty products that you think you need, because I can assure you, you won't. So I hope you enjoyed the video tips of what I recommend not to bring to Australia with you, or travelling in general. I don't really know a great deal. I've been travelling quite a lot. I've adjusted my hat there. Yeah, I've been travelling quite a lot, so I think I know what I'm talking about, but like most things, I don't. And anyone that says that they do is lying. If you need any advice or any tips or anything at all, come and say hello. I'm really bored. I have nothing else to do, so yeah, come and say hello.